What's the most cringe-worthy secondhand embarrassment you've ever experienced? 1. We were at an all-inclusive resort in Jamaica. Every night they had this common area where folks could do karaoke. A middle-aged gentleman got up and started the first few lines of Lionel Richie's Easy. Some random lady from the audience ran up and attempted to sing the song with the gentleman. He kindly pushed her away 2 or 3 times as she tried to sing over his shoulder into the microphone. Finally, she just stood there dejected, swaying from side to side like an idiot as the man broke from his song and professed his love for his girlfriend and wrapped up with a marriage proposal. They hugged, they kissed. The idiot girl went back to her seat. 2. Someone at my college graduation ceremony yelled, "I'm queen of the world," when accepting her diploma. Not a single person laughed. 3. Was at a dinner party when my friend's mother-in-law asked another one of our friends when her baby was due. She wasn't pregnant. Anyway, MIL should have simply apologized, but instead doubled down with something to the effect of, "It sure looks like you're pregnant." 4. I was a server at an American restaurant, and a family came in, and the mother was berating everyone. She yelled at the server and complained about the food not being the right temperature, and then she thought it was too salty, etc. She really had it in for the 17-year-old server. He was fine, but the customer wanted to pick at someone. Her husband and teenage children looked embarrassed. She had been like this before. There is a sign on the door that said we reserve the right to refuse service to anyone, and management decided that this lady shouldn't eat with us again, so the manager went over and comped the meals and told them to leave and not come back. The woman was upset and left mean feedback. In response to feedback, a regular posted with a picture of the woman and her family. She quickly took down her bad feedback. She deserved the public upbraiding, but I was embarrassed for her family. 5. That time my old roommate told a table full of his family that AIDS and cancer are the same thing, just after talking about how much he's been learning from his night classes. Those classes were being paid for by his parents, and spoiler alert, he wasn't attending any classes. They realized it by the time dinner was over. 6. I was selling some kettlebells on Facebook Marketplace, and a woman, early 40s maybe, bought them. She came to pick them up, and as I handed them over to her, she obviously wasn't expecting them to be as heavy as they were, and as she suddenly strained to counter the weight, she ripped the most extreme of farts you have ever heard. It was gargantuan. I was shocked, but also proud. I'm usually pretty good at making light of any situation, but I found myself speechless for the first time in my life. If I could, I would have returned serve, but even on my best day, I don't believe I could create such a symphony. We both kind of stared into each other's eyes, and she said, "Well," and turned around and walked off. I think about her often. 7. Was going down an escalator at the Mall of Georgia when the 90-something-year-old guy in front of me very suddenly shit his pants. We were about 500 feet from a bathroom and he was wearing shorts. I felt so bad for him. My dad gave him his hoodie to wrap around his waist. I was very proud he was my dad in that moment and still am. 8. A colleague of mine put in his 2 weeks. For context, he's a fairly attractive man. Well, this woman from HR, of all places, comes by his cubicle to, wish him well, I guess. Anyway, she basically gives him a lap dance right there in front of the whole office. 9. A girl graduating from college falling down repeatedly on the stage. She fell at least 3 or 4 times, and it was like something invisible was sweeping her leg out from under her. Even she had a WTF expression on her face. 10. Had a guy walk into class in college late. It was auditorium seating, and the only open spaces were on the 4th row in the middle, about 25 rows in total and about 50 seats per row. This guy walks in and sits down 15 minutes into the lecture, and opens his laptop, which as soon as the lights boot up starts blaring Korn, and at the build-up to the big finale to boot. He couldn't log in fast enough or mute it since he wasn't logged in. So he slammed it shut, put it in his bag, and walked out with it still blaring at full volume. We heard it finally stop as he was about to leave the building.